Welcome, friends. Welcome to our Ziraat attunement. Just exploring our adventure into nature and how that can be a benefit to our lives. And we're going to begin with the Sufi invocation from Pir Murshid Inayat Khan. Towards the One, the perfection of love, harmony, and beauty, the only being, united with all the illuminated souls who form the embodiment of the Master, the Spirit of guidance. Amen. So, before we really delve into practices, I just want to give a little bit of introduction to this activity of Ziraat, in case this is new to you. Or maybe it's not new, but I'm going to let you know what version we're visiting today. So, this was an activity or ray created by Hazrat Inayat Khan, and it was in the last year of his life. Really, it was he had just started formulating this esoteric school of attuning to nature and to the symbolism of agriculture as ways of seeing how we can cultivate our hearts and purify our minds and really enrich our inner lives in ways that we see and can connect to how that plays out in nature, and in particular with agriculture or farming or gardening. He did write quite a bit about plowing and how that that turning up, that purification of mind and heart. And so we might visit some of those readings and things, that lessons that he gave us before he passed away. And a lot of the like Ziraat ceremony and ritual was gathered and formulated by some of his closest murids. So it's kind of a collaborative work, I think, this Ziraat ray between Inayat Khan and his murids that carried it on after he died. So we'll visit some versions of that ceremony. It's called the Ziraat Lodge. So we're going to bring ourselves into the lodge and with some various attunements to the elements. And then for each of these classes each month, we'll attune to what is happening in nature around us right now, and how that can bring some enrichment and guidance to our lives. So one of the 10 Sufi thoughts of Inayat Khan, the fourth one is, I figure it must be important to him if he brought it into these 10 core thoughts of his Sufi teachings. And it's, there is one holy book, the sacred manuscript of nature, the only scripture that can enlighten the reader. So clearly, nature is the ultimate teacher, according to Inayat Khan, and it's also definitely something that I attune to in my life and my spiritual path. So we'll begin. First, I just want to show you this altar I have set up. This is part of the ceremony that Inayat Khan created for this lodge that we're entering. So we have the feather representing the air. We've got, of course, a candle back there representing fire. This little bowl of water here is representing the water, and it's actually from the Poudre River, right by where I live and walk around every day. So bringing some of that into this energy in place, and then some precious stones representing earth. And in the middle we have incense burning, which represents ether. So we'll begin by attuning to the elements. So there's this salutation to the elements that will follow, that Inayat Khan gave us for this Ziraat Lodge. And traditionally the movements are on the forehead, which you are welcome to do that. I think I'm going to modify it a little bit and do it in front of the heart. It feels more resonant to me, and I think it actually works better with Zoom. But it's really because just having these movements in front of my heart center feels nice. So whatever works for you. I'm going to put the words in the chat window so that you have them. You know what we're saying. Okay. Oh, all productive earth, we humbly offer our love and respect to you. And taking a few breaths here, breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the nose. And then we'll move to the water. Oh, all purifying water, we willingly offer our love and respect to you. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And then fire. Oh, all-consuming fire, we wholeheartedly offer our love and respect to you. Breathing in through the mouth and out through the nose. And then for air, oh, all-pervading air, we gladly offer our love and respect to you. Breathing in through the mouth and out through the mouth. And for ether, oh ether, essence of all, we passively offer our love and respect to you. And this is a breath of refinement, stillness, letting the source of all of these elements and all of our breath and life to just breathe through you. Amen. So I thought before we delve into some of the attunements of this season, I wanted to spend a little more time with the elements and some of the readings from Inayat Khan and some of his teachings around the elements. He has a lot of writings about this. It's definitely one of the core practices that he gave his students. It's part of a cycle of purification breaths. So by attuning to these elements, we can begin to purify the heart and the mind and really connect with nature and its teachings. So I'm going to do just a couple of readings on the elements, one on the color of the elements, and then one on the direction and movement of elements. And then we'll do another short meditation with these. Um, so this is from the Gathas. It's the chapter on mysticism. And this is the color of the elements. All objects on earth have their peculiar element which is predominant in them, although everything is made of the commingling of the five chief elements, the difference being in the greater or lesser degree. Not only in the substance, but in the liquid, even in the gases we can trace this. The earth element has a yellow color, which has been seen in the earth when it is dry, and this shows that the color of pure earth is yellow. It is seen in many flowers, as well as in fruits and leaves, and especially as the other elements in them lose their influence, and the earth element remains. Therefore, from red or green, they turn to yellow. And just a little aside here, if you've been following my Facebook page, you'll notice me posting a few pictures of the yellow grasses and bushes that are so uh, predominant right now. And I'm just finding it absolutely beautiful. I love that yellow, dry color of the earth that we're seeing right now. So the water element is green, which may be seen in the water of the sea and in the effect of the rainfall on the trees and the plants. Yet water in its pure state is white, which may be seen in the clouds, in pure streams, and in snow. Another element we're seeing a lot right now, more in the white form. The fire element is red, and not only in the rising and setting of the sun or in the burning coal is it noticed, but even in a hot substance such as pepper. Also in the face of man during a spell of anger, this color appears. Even in the eyes become red. The air element is blue, which may be seen in the color of the sky, which is its abode. Even the contact of the air with water makes the sea blue. The marks of this element, when predominating, are seen even on the tongue and lips of a person. It shows itself on the top of flames and the fire. This is when the fire turns into air. The ether is smoky in color. It is the co-mingling of all the elements, and even the origin of all. It is the color of mist. The different grades of its activity have assumed different colors. Therefore, it is all colors and no color. The colors in the rainbow represent the different colors of the elements collected together as one embodiment of ether. And then just a little bit about the grades of elements or the directions. So the five elements, earth, water, fire, air, and ether, are in fact grades of the abstract life in its gradual activity. And every element is distinguished by its form, direction, color, and nature. The direction of the earth element is level, and its nature is spreading. Therefore, the smallest island in the sea, in time, grows to be a big island. The direction of water is downward. That is why rain falls, water falls from the springs, and water is found below the earth. The direction of fire is upward. Therefore, the flame and smoke rise, and the sun, the center of all heat, is above. The direction of air is zigzag. I like that direction. Zigzag. That is why the weather changes from time to time. The direction of ether is not particularly perceived because it is still. It is the grade of activity which changes the still ether to air, and so changes its direction and nature. Thus, the activity of the air clashing by the zigzag direction produces electricity. The fire element of which may be seen in lightning, which is zigzag in form. It is the activity of the fire element sorry, lost my place, which rises above in clouds and turns into the water element and falls as rain, as the heat of the body is the cause of perspiration, and the heat of the mind accounts for tears. It is the activity of the water element which solidifies and produces salt and minerals of different kinds, which develops into rocks and mountains, and then descend and make themselves a plain, which is the part of the earth. This shows the origin of earth and the source of water. All of these directions may be seen in the breath by one that can realize what element the breath is emitting at a certain time. The breath changes its element so many times during the day and night, and if in right order, it does not miss the right succession of the elements. From this, the seer knows all about his body and mind, and the body and mind of another, and according to his development, he gets an insight into the past, present, and future. So again, we're attuning to these elements, noticing how even one of the core ways we can connect to these elements is really through the breath, which is always there, which is the source of life. So we'll visit these elements again, not necessarily with the movements, but just focusing on the breath. And we begin with the breath of earth. We breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. And you might want to close your eyes and just envision the color yellow as you're breathing in and out, seeing the breath as an energy that's spreading out, level or flat, seeing it spread far and wide, in through the nose, out through the nose, seeing the color yellow. We'll visit the element of water, breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the mouth, and seeing the color green, feeling the downward motion of the breath, feeling the rain, the spring waters falling upon your head and heart and body. Again, just focusing on that color of green, how the water and the rainfall brings green to the plants and the trees and the grass. And then moving to the element of fire, breathing in through the mouth and out through the nose. Seeing the color red, seeing the breath rising. I like to envision the in-breath through the nose, kind of heating up the coal and the fire inside of our hearts, and then breathing out the fire through the nose, almost like a dragon, and seeing that rise. Moving to the element of air, breathing in through the mouth and out through the mouth. And seeing the color blue, seeing that clear blue sky, and seeing a zigzag motion of the breath, maybe thinking about the breeze, the wind, its zigzaggy motion. And then a breath of ether. There's could be a breath through the nose or through the mouth or both, but just one that's very refined, very still, almost imperceptible. It's all colors and no color, the source of all. I'd like to just attune with our voices and our song to these elements. So I put in the chat window the words we'll be singing, really remembering who we are, that we are these four elements. This is essentially what all of life is made of, and attuning to that. Air I am, fire I am, water, earth, and spirit I am. Air I am, fire I am, water, earth, and spirit I am. Air I am, fire I am, water, earth, and spirit I am. Air I am, fire I am, water, earth, and spirit I am. Air I am, fire I am, water, earth, and spirit I am. Air I am, fire I am, water, earth, and spirit I am. Air I am, fire I am, water, earth, and spirit I am. Air I am, fire I am, water, earth, and spirit I am. Air I am, fire I am, water, earth, and spirit I am. Air I am, fire I am, water, earth, and spirit I am. Air I am, fire I am, water, earth, and spirit I am. Air I am, fire I am, water, earth, and spirit I am. Air I am, fire I am, water, earth, and spirit I am. Air I am, fire I am, water, earth, and spirit I am. So now for some attunement to our season that we are in. I think many of you know we just passed the pagan holiday of Imbolg, which is the very end of January, starting into February. Certainly, the energy of Imbolg is still with us. So, Imbolg marks the halfway point between the winter solstice and the spring equinox, and the light is being more perceptibly longer. It's giving us more hope of the life returning and new growth. Um, the seeds are just beginning to stir underneath in the belly of Mama Earth. It's a time of reflecting on what we want to bring into our lives. What are we birthing? What are we pregnant with? Kind of looking at the pregnancy of this time. The seeds are not yet sprouting, and the birthing has not quite happened, but we're certainly in that space of growing that, of stirring that energy and getting it, our gardens, our farms, our hearts ready for cultivation. And so I invite you to look at or imagine the soil of your garden, of your heart and your mind, maybe even your literal garden. Maybe it's helpful to imagine even what's going on there. Maybe it's buried under still a lot of snow, depending on where you are. Maybe it's just starting to see some little green sprouts of perhaps some crocus or other life that we might start to see at this time of year. And then just bringing that image into your heart and see what has taken root there, both the good and the bad. Because really, before we can plant the garden and the imagery of Inayat Khan, before we can really start that plowing of the garden where we're digging into that earth and pulling out the roots of last year's plants and maybe weeds and things that we need to start afresh and start anew. And so it's a good time for self-analysis to really see what's growing in our heart, or what is hanging out there from last year's garden and growth. So I'm going to read, thank you, Simon, one of the lessons from the Ziraat papers by Inayat Khan. And this is lesson 3, called Self-Analysis. The birth of every purpose is when the purpose has become known. The moment one knows, I am my mind, one begins to analyze what one's mind contains. If it contains error, one finds oneself in error. If it contains pain, one finds oneself sad. If it contains fear, one feels discomfort. If one finds an accumulation of desirable and undesirable impressions, thoughts, that one likes and dislikes, one feels confused. To feel in one's mind thoughts that one cannot bear to think is like standing in the mud. Finding one's imaginations undesirable and uncontrollable is like being in a forest among wild beasts who are not under one's control. To feel one's weaknesses and defects is like being in the wilderness where life is every moment in danger. All of these are different roots that are to be found in the soil of the mind, and it needs willpower to uproot and cast them out. The first work of the plower, or seeker on the path, is self-analysis. Once self-analysis is made, the human being has brought out from the soil of the mind all that was there onto the surface, so that nothing, either good or bad, remains buried there. Self-analysis is the first necessary process in cultivating the mind. It brings out all that was within and onto the surface, open for inspection. In this manner, a person can judge oneself fully, like the plower who sees all that was buried under the ground when it is turned up in the furrow. Nothing can give the plower greater pleasure than to see the results of one's efforts in bringing to the surface all that was buried, and in feeling that one has thoroughly penetrated the ground and brought to the surface all that was hidden there. So I encourage you for a moment just to attune to the breath and really let the exhale be longer as you take a little bit of time to really see what is in the soil of your mind. See what's taken root, the good and the bad, and to see what we want to pull up from there, what wants to be let go of or transformed. So I'll just take a few moments to breathe in, see the image of that mind, heart, soil, see what wants to be removed, and then a long exhale, bringing that out to the surface to be removed. So I encourage you to continue this practice daily if you wish. It's not just a seasonal thing, but of course it feels appropriate for the season as well. Now I want to talk about compost, because what do we do with all those roots and things we've just pulled out? And I, for one, and I'm sure you probably agree, we don't want to just throw it in the trash. I'd like to see it transformed. And I think that compost is a beautiful way of transforming what we no longer need. So if you think about the process of composting, we take all of these things, the rotten produce, the eggshells, the coffee grinds, the leaves and grasses, and those skeletons of what was left in the garden last year, and we put that into a container that will let it stew and steep and be transformed. But, none of that would actually transform into this rich soil that we can use to grow new life if there weren't these little unseen creatures within the soil called microbes, little microorganisms that really do all the transforming. They are really the base of life on earth in every form, but certainly within our soil. And so thinking of how we can look at this as a symbology of what's happening with our hearts and what we're transforming, I'd like to see the microbes as the practices, the little daily practices that come into our lives, either intentionally or maybe even sometimes uh, not intentionally, but you notice it, maybe taking more time to notice it. So some of the examples I can think of are, when I'm washing the dishes and I find myself singing a zikr, a phrase or some kind of chant from a lot of the dances and chants that we do together as community, and noticing that and realizing that that's part of what's transforming the old and what we don't know, what we no longer want or need. Or maybe it's a wazifa, maybe it's a beautiful name of God that's running through your heart and mind as you go throughout the day, or maybe on your walk. Again, maybe it's sitting on your cushion at meditation. For me, a lot of my work is done when I'm walking around the river bend ponds every day, every morning, and really noticing the breath being aligned with my steps. It can be as simple as that, but really being attentive to it, that it's not just a mindless walk, although that's fine too. Just take in the beauty. That's another microbe that's doing the transforming. But then also becoming intentional with the steps. Maybe even putting a mantra on those steps of something so simple as towards the one, breathing in towards the one, breathing out towards the one. Maybe it's the daily prayer zooms of some sort, 15 minutes of tuning in with community and doing the elemental breaths that we were just visiting, that are so key to attuning to life around us. Maybe it's just little prayers of gratitude throughout the day. So, and I'd be curious to hear if there's any practices, microbes, transformers that are working in your lives. And I know that I am recording this, but I'm going to pause it for a moment because I want you all to feel free to unmute and share. So give me just 1 second. I'll pause it. Oh, whoops. Here, I can pause it again. Thank you, friends, for sharing. I also find that working in the garden is a way, such a powerful way to really attune to the divine for me. Like, it's interesting because the weather was rather warm this week here in Colorado. It felt like I should just be out there digging up the earth and planting the seeds, even though I know it's very premature. But there was a bit of preparation of, well, really getting the compost in order, and it's just really fun to start to see the analogies between what I'm doing, working with the soil and the plants, and how much that really relates to how I'm working with my spiritual life. And it really brings it more into a visceral body experience when you're actually out there working with the nature or walking in the nature, or yeah, very, very nice. Thank you for sharing, friends. All right, so another very important part of this season is not only the clearing out and the getting the soil ready, but finding the inspiration. So much about this season is about the fire and the light, bringing more inspiration and getting that seed ready. And so, of course, we want to focus also on what you're wanting to birth in this coming spring, and what are you dreaming about? What's in your imagination right now? And so I feel like a nice way to do this for listening to really what's within us, what is birthing, is I'm going to lead us in a little bit of a different version of Chagall, which traditionally is where you shut down the ears and the eyes and the nose, and you really just closing out all those outside senses so that we can really go within and listen. And for this practice, I want to shut down probably the two senses that I think are most prevalent as far as how we're taking in outside information, and that's the ears and the eyes. So, what I'd like to encourage you to do is to take an in breath and then hold the breath with covering your ears and eyes for just a moment and then releasing. And we'll do this 4 or 5 times. And when you shut down the eyes and the ears, that's the opportunity to really listen to the divine wisdom that's within and see what is wanting to be birthed right now. So we'll just do a little mini version of Chagall. And again, this is a practice you can take with you throughout the week, another microbe to help with transforming, another practice to bring to the table. So breathing in, holding, and out. I'll just let you do this on your own rhythm. About 2 more times. Amen. I know you all have your ears plugged, you can't hear me. All right. So I want to just continue with a breath practice that's a nature meditation. So Inayat Khan put together these beautiful meditations of a mantra on the breath that's attuning us to different aspects of nature. And again, bringing that into how we can bring that into our spiritual lives. So I'm going to put this in the chat window. Oops, wrong one. Hold on. Okay. So we'll inhale, thou art patiently awaiting the moment, and then exhale to manifest through the silence of sublime nature. So again, breathing in, thou art patiently awaiting the moment, and breathing out to manifest through the silence of sublime nature. Breathing in, thou art patiently awaiting the moment. Breathing out to manifest through the silence of sublime nature. Breathing in, thou art patiently awaiting the moment. Breathing out to manifest through the silence of sublime nature. Thou art patiently awaiting the moment to manifest through the silence of sublime nature. A few more breaths. Breathing in, thou art patiently awaiting the moment. Breathing out to manifest through the silence of sublime nature. And just staying in this space of listening to the nature, what's wanting to be birthed, the stirring of the earth. I'll lead us in a chant, and you're welcome to sing along to this chant that is in the chat window for you if you need it. The earth that is wise and old, the earth that is wise and old, the earth that is wise and old, dreams in her sleep and stirs. The earth that is wise and old, the earth that is wise and old, the earth that is wise and old, dreams in her sleep and stirs. The earth that is wise and old, the earth that is wise and old, the earth that is wise and old, dreams in her sleep and stirs. The earth that is wise and old, the earth that is wise and old, the earth that is wise and old, dreams in her sleep and stirs. The earth that is wise and old, the earth that is wise and old, the earth that is wise and old, dreams in her sleep and stirs. The earth that is wise and old, the earth that is wise and old, the earth that is wise and old, dreams in her sleep and stirs. The earth that is wise wise and old, dreams in her sleep and stirs the earth that is wise and old, the earth that is wise and old, the earth that is wise and old, dreams in her sleep and stirs. Thank you, friends. So we're going to close with the salutation to the elements once more. We'll be put it in the chat window again for you. And so beginning with Earth. O all productive Earth, we humbly offer our love and respect to you. O all purifying water, we willingly offer our love and respect to you. O all-consuming fire, we wholeheartedly offer our love and respect to you. O all-pervading air, we gladly offer our love and respect to you. O ether, essence of all, we passively offer our love and respect to you. And for our closing prayer, we're going to say the prayer Munira. And Munira is one of the prayers from the Temple of the Divine Feminine, one that Sarah wrote for this temple. There's a series of prayers, and this one felt like a nice closing attunement to the Earth Mother. And so it's in the chat window for you if you'd like to follow along. Great birther, sustainer, holy wisdom, essence of love, harmony, and beauty, mother, sister, daughter, beloved one, bless us, inspire us, and renew us. Shine your light within us, protect us, and delight our spirits. Most precious friend, the living truth of our beings, work through our hands, sing through our voices, serve humanity through our lives. Awaken our wisdom and help us to embrace you in each moment on your sacred earth. Teach us to love one another as you love us, Divine Mother. May we honor you through our actions, and may we live in the harmony of your heart. Amen. Thank you, friends.